Right now at noon, Madison police continue to look for a suspect in last night's East Side shooting. We'll have the latest. Plus, the death toll continues to rise due to the wildfires in Northern California. And audio tapes of Jamal Khashoggi's have been released. We'll tell you what was said before the journalist's death.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Monday afternoon. We'll get to those stories in just a bit. But first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. Very wintry out there for the middle of November.
It really is. And it's also been a very gray day as well. Here's a live look outside now. It's cloudy, and that's about as good as it gets for the day. Temperatures are stuck in the 20s as well, and we were seeing flurries fly outside up until moments ago. And the thing is, they are very light flurries. If you blink, you might almost miss it. It's almost like, is that a snowflake falling? Yes, it actually is. Winds coming out of the north and northeast, or northwest rather, at about 13 miles per hour. That is creating a wind chill. That wind chill is in the mid-teens at the moment, at 15 for Madison, 14 for Lone Rock. In Viroqua, it feels like 10 right now. But here's Weather Track showing you even those flurries are too light to really be picked up on radar. But there are flurries flying across the state, along with to our south across parts of central Illinois. But as we go through the day, expect the cloud cover to continue. Temperatures will top out right around 30 degrees and then fall through the 20s and into the teens overnight. Tomorrow, you'll really want to bundle up in the morning, as wind chills could likely be in the single digits, if not close to zero, Mark.
It's a little early for all this.
It is early for all this, but there's hope, and I'll be touching on that in just a couple minutes.
We like hope.
Yes.
All right, Chris, see you in a few minutes. Topping our news today, Baraboo School District could pursue legal action after a photo of a group of students circulated on Twitter. The post, which has since been deleted, was tweeted last night. It shows a large group of high school boys on the steps of a building dressed up and making what appears to be a Nazi salute. Baraboo School District Administrator Lori Mueller said the photo is completely unacceptable. She says the district is very concerned about the image, adding the gesture is certainly not endorsed by the district. Mueller says the district is launching an investigation into the tweet. Madison police looking for suspects after a shooting on the city's east side last night. Officers called to the Starkweather neighborhood at the corner of North Fair Oaks Avenue and Milwaukee Street around 9 o'clock last night. There, they found a 29-year-old woman with a single gunshot wound to her chest. Detectives say the victim was targeted in the shooting as part of an ongoing dispute. She is in stable condition and expected to survive. 6 more bodies were found overnight in flame-ravaged areas of Northern California. That brings the death toll to 29, matching the deadliest fire in state history. More than 200 people are still unaccounted for. Chris Martinez has the latest.
Crews are fighting the Woolsey fire from the air this morning. More than 8,000 firefighters are battling wildfires statewide. The Camp Fire north of Sacramento is the most destructive fire in state history. More than 6,000 homes and structures are scorched, and thousands more are threatened.
We have a real challenge here, threatening our whole way of life.
Raging flames virtually destroyed the entire town of Paradise. Nurse Daryl Wilkins fled the ferocious fire with 3 patients, 2 critically ill, in his car.
The window is so hot I can't even touch the window right now.
Wilkins says hospital staff members knew the patients had to be saved.
We have not just an obligation to our patients, but we have an obligation to humanity. I mean, we have to do our jobs, regardless of the adverse conditions.
The Woolsey fire hit this neighborhood in Calabasas over the weekend. At least a half-dozen homes here were destroyed. Neighbors came together to console each other just hours after all was lost.
It's just hard to process. It's hard to process, and it's just, it's just massive loss in such a short amount of time. Squeeze your loved ones tonight, because in a moment's notice, things can change.
Fire officials say high winds and dry conditions are expected to make the battle even more difficult throughout the week. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Calabasas, California.
Canada's Prime Minister confirms his country has heard audio tapes of the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Canada's intelligence agencies have been working very closely on this issue with the Turkish intelligence.
A Turkish newspaper report claims Khashoggi's last words were, quote, "I'm suffocating. Take this bag off my head. I'm claustrophobic." Turkey's president said audio of Khashoggi's murder has been sent to Saudi Arabia and Western allies, including the U.S. Administration sources tell CBS News the CIA director has heard the audio. So far, at least 18 people, including security officers, have been arrested in Saudi Arabia in connection with Khashoggi's murder. Government offices are closed today in observance of Veterans Day, a holiday started by a UW-Madison alum. The Wisconsin Alumni Association says Harvey Hiley left his job as a chemical engineer to serve in France. When the war ended, the nation recognized November 11th as Armistice Day to honor World War I veterans. But following World War II and the Korean War, service organizations wanted a day to honor everyone who served. Hiley, who served as a Secretary of Veterans Affairs under President Dwight Eisenhower, worked with lawmakers to establish Veterans Day as a national holiday. And there's more to come on this Veterans Day. We'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Not sure what dessert you'll be serving this holiday season? Don't stress. Today, we're sharing a 2-in-1 favorite that you'll love. With Thanksgiving right around the corner, many of us are starting to put the finishing touches on our menu. Of course, we know we're going to have the basics, and most likely, Aunt Sarah will bring her almost famous green bean casserole. That leaves one big decision. What are you going to serve for dessert? How about one that combines the best of a pecan pie with a rich as can be chocolate pie? If that sounds good, check this out. In a saucepan, we melt some unsweetened chocolate with a can of sweetened condensed milk. Once that's smooth, we stir in a mixture we made by combining some water with a touch of cornstarch, along with a couple of eggs, butter, and a bit of salt. After this comes together, we stir in lots of pecan halves and pour this into a chocolate graham cracker pie crust. We'll pop this into the oven until the center is set. Then all that's left to do is wait for it to cool. Let me tell you, that part won't be easy. And whether you plan on serving this just because or after your holiday feast, you can't go wrong. Just don't forget to dollop it with some whipped cream. To get the recipe for our chocolate pecan fudgy pie, all you have to do is head over to our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with Kelly, who loves anything chocolate. And today we found a doubly good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Dig in.
Dig in. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, a cool start to the work week, to say the least. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast when we come back. Our call for action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. The number 608-270-2833. At the noon hour, the Dow Industrials down 407 points. The NASDAQ down 153. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee out of the radio barn today, so here are your farm numbers. And Chris Reese is here now with a rather chilly forecast.
Yeah, things are certainly colder than they were this time yesterday. It's a cold day when the blue tie matches the weather map. I think that's just one of the things. Yeah, that is a hint. Sometimes the weather matches my tie color mood, but we are cooler than we were at this time yesterday by 11 degrees. In Lone Rock, they are 12 degrees colder than we were just 24 hours ago. And overall, we're seeing temperatures that are mainly in the 20s across the southern half of the state. 26 right now in Madison. Janesville is at 28. We're at 26 in Lone Rock as well. And the thing is, temperatures have not really been able to move because of the cloud cover that we have out there. We've had that cloud cover pretty much since yesterday afternoon, and we've even had some flurries too. The thing is, it hasn't really amounted to much. They are the very small flakes falling out of the sky. Winds are out of the north at 13 miles per hour right now. We'll touch on those winds in just a sec. Here's Weather Track, just kind of showing you the snow flurry activity that is in play across the state. And for the most part, anything that you are seeing here around the Madison area, it's too low and too small to really be picked up by the radar, but it is there. Here are those winds again, breezy out of the north and northwest. That will continue as we go into the overnight hours, and that's why wind chills are colder than the actual air temperature. So it feels like 15 right now. For our friends over in Viroqua, it feels like 11 degrees right now. But here's how temperatures respond going through the day. We'll see those highs right around 30 if we can make it there, but that's about as warm as it'll get. By lunch or dinner time rather, we'll be into the mid-20s, and then temperatures will cool off into the teens overnight. I do think we'll see some clearing skies, which will allow for some sunshine on Tuesday. That'll just help things feel a little bit warmer. Temperatures will be in the low 20s by lunchtime tomorrow, topping out by about 25 degrees for your Tuesday. Then there's the wind chill. Bundle up as you head out to the bus stops or just out in general tomorrow morning. We're going to be seeing those wind chills all the way down into the single digits. Then by the warmest part of tomorrow afternoon, it will feel like only 13 degrees in Madison. So yes, it's a cold couple of days, but here is the hope that I talked about. I think we're going to be milder by Thanksgiving. We'll get that cold shot out of here by midweek. Here comes the next cold shot by the weekend. So things will be very chilly then as well. But it's what happens to our jet stream after that. We move into a pattern known as a split flow. You have one feature of the jet stream that goes to the north, another one that goes microphone cut off. Jet stream will keep the cold air locked up to the north, and so that will absolutely work to keep things much milder. And so in fact, we do have a likely chance of above average conditions as we go through the next, especially approaching the Thanksgiving holiday there. So be on the lookout for that. I have no idea if they can hear me.
No, I can't hear you. Here, talking to me.
Temperatures will go above average essentially as we go towards the end of the next 7 to 10 days. And then we'll have a light snow chance rather Friday and into Saturday. But then we see temperatures returning to the 40s, especially as we get you towards the end of the next 7 to 10 days.
All right, there, got you in mind.
Yeah, there we go.
I think
you gotta make do.
The equipment's freezing up. It's so cold.
It's the gremlins. It knows something.
It is, absolutely. All right, thank you, Chris. And there's more to come on News 3. Up next, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. The number to call, 270-9933. We'll get to your calls right after this. Lisa Briggs from the Roost Company is here taking your calls at 270-9933. Welcome back.
Hi.
Poinsettia, huh?
Poinsettias.
Can we wait till Thanksgiving?
They just came in today, so I was
right.
kind of excited.
That's not a poinsettia that we're looking at.
That's a cyclamen.
Mm-hmm.
And those are grown in Deerfield
Are
for
they
us.
really?
Yeah. We get all kinds of colors, different sizes, little mini ones. I love them.
Yeah, so pretty.
Yes, they are.
And I like poinsettias too.
I don't, but that's all right.
Amaryllis going?
Amaryllis are growing, a little bit of winterberry.
Very
so
nice.
holiday plants are coming in.
Tis the season.
Tis the season.
Speaking of which, let's go to Jessica in Baraboo. Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
I have a question about a Christmas cactus. Some of the leaves have started turning black around the edges, and it's almost like it gets a growth spurt and shoots leaves right off the plant. So the leaves are falling onto the ground.
Oh, okay. Well, I would think that the black around on the edges might be a little bit of an overwatering issue. So make sure, especially now as the plants are starting to sort of transition into wintertime, that you're letting it dry out completely between waterings. As far as the new shoots and the growth spurt, why don't you shoot us some photos? You can send them to the plant desk and they'll take a closer look. And it's plantdesk@brucecompany.com, and they'd be happy to look at them.
Plantdesk@brucecompany.com.
Super easy, yes.
Yeah, overwatering, that's pretty common with those things.
Yeah, especially this transition-y time of year. It's easy to do on all your houseplants.
All right, let's go to Linda in Janesville. Hi, Linda.
Oh, hello.
Hi, what's your question?
Well, I wanted to transplant a small tree. It's about a 3-foot tree, which I'm sure I have to wait now till spring. I'm guessing, and do the roots go down as the height of the tree is? And also, what is a good evergreen to plant, and would I have to wait to spring there too for privacy?
Well, for right now, it's really kind of getting too late to plant anything, especially evergreen. So hold off on that. For privacy, there are lots of choices. Arborvitae, yews, it depends on the situation in your yard. For transplanting, again, not a great time. I would wait until spring for that.
All right. Loretta was on the line, but she apparently hung up. But she wanted to know if she can still put tulip bulbs into the ground.
Yeah, ground isn't frozen yet, so you can certainly go ahead and put those in the ground. It looks like the forecast is going to be a little bit nicer for the weekend, so go for it.
So if it's not frozen?
If it's not frozen, go ahead and put them in. And actually, they're half off at Bruce Company, so come on in and get a bunch.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Deb in Madison. Hi, Deb. Deb, you there?
Yes.
Hi, what's your question?
I have a climbing rose bush that the Japanese beetles did quite a job on this year. But I'm wondering, is it too late to cut that down? Or I don't know if it's even going to make it next year as bad as they've eaten it.
Well, the Japanese beetles, it's a lot of aesthetic stuff, and it really has to be a problem several years for it to do that kind of damage. Do you know what kind of rose bush it is?
She's gone.
Okay, so if it's a hardy one, I would wait and cut it back in the spring. If it is a hybrid type, then you're going to want to give it some winter protection on the base of it.
And you don't like the rose cone thing. You can do it on a climbing one, but for the regular
Yeah,
roses.
if you've got a really tender climbing one, the best thing to do is to take it and lay it down on the ground and then mulch over it. But the hardy ones are easy to winter over without doing anything.
All right. Let's go to Bob in Monona. Hi, Bob.
I have a Christmas cactus, which I have questions on.
Okay, what are they?
Mainly how much to water it.
So, Bob...
It's in bloom right now.
Okay, so what you want to do, Bob, is you want to make sure that you water it thoroughly, but let it dry between waterings. So when you touch the top of the soil around it, that is dried out before you water it again. And then soak it so that water comes out the bottom of the pot, and then let it go between.
And they're a succulent, so...
Yes, they are a cactus, and the leaves do store some water, so it might be a couple of weeks between waterings, depending on the size.
All right, let's go to Pete in Fitchburg. Hi, Pete.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
Yes, please. I'd like to know where I can get vegetable seeds in Madison.
Okay, well, you can get them at the Bruce Company. We have fresh vegetable seeds both from Botanic Interest and from Seed Savers. And so this seed that's newly packaged for 2019, so it's super fresh. So just stop in. We've got a good selection.
Sure can't plant any vegetables now.
Well, some things people like to do in their house, like maybe they're going to do some cilantro or some basil or something, or sprouts.
Like an herb garden.
Yeah, yeah, and they do that in the house. So
All right, we are out of time. Thank you all for calling in. If you're on the line, stay there. Lisa will talk to you off the air. We'll see you
Wednesday.
Oh, on Live at 4?
Yes.
All right, so tune in for Live at 4. We'll have more calls. No, we're not taking calls. We're going to look at what?
Greens.
Okay. Greens. Thank you.
Evergreen greens.
All right. Chris is patiently standing by. Look at the forecast.
That's all good. It's really a cold forecast as we go through the rest of today. Temperatures will top out right around 30 degrees. Tomorrow, we don't get out of the 20s, but I do think we'll see more sunshine, a chance for light snow Friday night into Saturday.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.
Making plans that are